Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector, and GameStop ended their promotion this past Sunday, where they were buying all types of retro consoles, whether they were broken or working, and giving you the same amount of cash as they would have for trade credit. So they've recently ended that promotion, and I remember when this was going on, I put out a video and I said that there is a bigger reason why GameStop is doing this. There's a reason why GameStop is buying up all of these consoles, and I think it's much bigger than a lot of people realize. But while the getting was good, it was good, and a lot of people traded in a lot of consoles, a lot of broken consoles. And if I had cases and boxes of consoles laying around, I probably would have done the same thing too. But as time has gone on, I think we're starting to see GameStop's plan reveal itself. And there was a hypothesis that I had with regards to GameStop retro games, where I said one of the paths that they could be taking in the future when it comes to retro video games and retro consoles is they could eventually go the bidding format route for retro video games, similar to the way Goodwill did it. Now, some of you might remember where you could just go into Goodwill and buy video games, buy consoles, and get really good deals. Well, somewhere within the last 5 years, Goodwill changed that. And instead of putting all of their video games out on the floor, what they did was they had all of the employees send them to their warehouse, and then they started to list them on their website in a bidding format style, where you place your bid, and then I guess the deal goes to the highest bidder. And one of the things that I said in my first video regarding the GameStop console buying craze was that they could be going this route. Well, it seems that there might be a little more credence to that hypothesis than I originally realized, because over the weekend I saw Spawn Wave put out a video basically highlighting the fact that GameStop has submitted a bid to buy eBay at, I think, a valuation of $125 per share or something in that neighborhood. And I did a little research and I saw that this actually did go down. Now, while a lot of people have been selling their consoles, I've actually been buying. This Vita, pretty clean Vita, and this Game Boy Micro. These are two consoles that I've been able to pick up from GameStop, and I've been able to get them for under market value, especially because they're both in really great condition. And I did this because I do believe that GameStop has a plan for their high-end, very expensive games, retro games, and their limited items that are no longer in production. And I do believe that their goal and their intent is to make us, the buyer, basically bid for them. And these deals are eventually going to go to the highest bidder. They're going to go to whoever feels, the game is worth whatever it's worth. Now, I think the reason why we're not seeing this format roll out very quickly is because I feel like they need infrastructure. And who better to provide that bidding style of, that bidding sales process? Who better to do that with than eBay? eBay is the originator of the online bidding sales process. They've done it the best. They've been the most successful at that process. And I think if GameStop is going to do that, they probably want to do it by merging with a company that excels at that format. And you might say, well, Y2K, why would a GameStop need an eBay to sell their retro games in a bidding format? Well, I think it's because when you're putting something up for auction, it requires a lot more, It requires a little more scrutiny than I think GameStop applies to their retro games at the moment. You really have to look at the item that you're putting up for bid. You have to do market research. You have to see, what an acceptable bid would be, maybe what the starting bid would be. You need to look at the actual item itself, right? You can't just say every copy of Super Mario is the same price and put it online, because not every copy of Super Mario is the same price. Some have good labels, some have torn labels, some have discoloration, and all those things come into play when you start to look at these items being sold in a bidding format. And I don't know if GameStop either has the resources or wants to expend the resources in really scrutinizing retro games in a way that will allow them to maximize, the profits on each of these games. Because at this point, GameStop still can't even tell us if a game is complete or not on their website, which is something super basic. I mean, at the very least, they should be able to do that, but that's not something that they do. And so I really do see where, or I can see where, this bidding process or this bidding style of purchases really comes into play. What does that mean for someone like me? It means that I'm gonna try and get my hands on as much limited retro games and consoles as I can before all of this kicks into gear. Because I think once this does happen, there might be a spike in prices yet again, because it's gonna be even harder to get games. And this is something that I've been doing before the GameStop eBay announcement, before they started buying consoles, because I'm in the process of rebuilding my collection. And there are games that I've gotten from GameStop over the last couple months that I know that if they would have gone to like bid on their website, it would have been a lot more than what I paid for it. When I think about games like Kickmaster on the NES, when I think about games like Ninja Gaiden 3 on the NES, Dragon Ball Adventure, Metroid Zero Mission, recent pickup, Snowboard Kids 2, or probably one of the biggest pickups for me, Gunstar Heroes Complete in Box. These are games that I can easily see GameStop saying, you know what, we're gonna put these up for auction and we're gonna let a complete in-box minty copy of Gunstar Heroes go to the highest bidder. And again, while it's good on one hand because it becomes more of like a fair playing ground where you no longer have to be the first in the store to find the game and buy it, it does take the fun out of the hunting aspect of it, right? And what I'm seeing, especially on GameStop's website, is that games like these are becoming more and more harder to find. It seems like this entire quarter, it like I have not been able to find anything really retro that's of value. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on their website is very common, a lot of seventh gen, and if it is third or fourth gen, it's very basic AAA third and fourth gen stuff that the general consumer would know about. No niche titles. So I'm seeing a lot of like Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, Super Mario Bros 3, a lot of Mario, right? A lot of Mario, a lot of Star Fox, a lot of Halo, a lot of the really popular titles. But when it comes to something very niche like a Ninja Gaiden 3 or a Kickmaster or a Snowboard Kids 2, those aren't just chilling on the website anymore. And I think the only chance or the last chance that collectors have at this point in finding good stuff is getting out there and going to the stores, because the website is not what it used to be. But you guys let me know what you think about this whole GameStop eBay thing. Do you think that they are gonna go to this bidding style of selling niche retro games? Have you noticed a difference on their website? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.